I'm Nicolette Kok. I'm the director of the Red Mansion Foundation. I set it up in 1999 to promote cultural exchange between Great Britain and China. We do this through a number of projects. One is the Red Mansion Art Prize. Every year we send 7 postgraduate art students to China. They live and work with local artists during that period, and they make work inspired by their stay there. The other project is called Building Bridges. This is for established artists. This is the second exhibition or the second project that we organize within the Building Bridges project. It's called 8 Visions, 1 Dream. And of course, this is a reference to the Olympic Games. So 8 artists spent some time, about 1 month, in China at the invitation of the Red Mansion. They could travel wherever they liked, but everybody had to give a lecture at CAFA, the Central Academy, and everybody had to meet local artists, which we set up, of course, through our Beijing office. I'm married to a Chinese man, and people were always asking, isn't it strange to be married to a Chinese person? Do you have anything in common? We wanted to show that people from all over the world have things in common. They have the same ambitions, the same desires, the same fears. They want the same for their children. There are 8 artists in this show. They have all been chosen by a senior curator of the Tate, Catherine Kinley, who advised me. They've been chosen for their diversity, but also for being good communicators within their work, because of course we had to find artists that can actually do something with an experience like this. I mean, they're painters, installation artists like Richard Wentworth, photographers. They're all very different, but they all have the different visions of China, but it is one dream. I hope that my dream is their dream, to bring these 2 cultures closer together.
My name is Dennis Morris. I'm a photographer.
I'm Richard Wentworth. I'm an artist.
My name's Rose Finkelsi and I'm an artist from London.
I'm Paul Winstanley. I'm based in London.
My name's Tony Bevan. I live and work in London.
My name is Satch Hoyt, born in London, part Jamaican, part English.
I would describe myself quite quickly as a still life painter.
Or the decision to use so-called new media like video or sound.
Like the Cultural and Education section of the British Embassy, the Red Mansion Foundation is dedicated to maintaining cultural dialogue between China and the UK and creating opportunities for cultural exchange and understanding.
中国和英国都是拥有悠久的历史和灿烂文化的国家。中英两国的文化交流，在新中国的文化交流史上占有重要的地位。
While the dragon is a nice metaphor, in reality China is neither beast nor beauty. No country has a monopoly on virtue, and we should be careful not to let old stereotypes lead us. The most positive and beneficial way to resolve our differences can only be through mutual dialogue on personal level.
We hope this exhibition will provoke the thinking on cultural exchange for both the Chinese and international audience.
当我看到这个可爱的女孩的时候，我觉得我能够找到她在我心目中的那个影子。也许可能我现在长成这样，我们两个人不一样，但是当我们两个人沉浸在兴奋的最高点的时候，那个心理的状态是一样的。
It makes me honestly feel less like a foreigner. It really does. It's always about bridging gaps wherever you go. And I think this is a great place that shows that.
In England, the Chinese have the Chinese takeaway exists in pretty well every part of the country. In very remote villages, you will get no village shop, but you'll get a Chinese takeaway, which is quite incredible. And people have really struggled to make that happen for themselves in circumstances that are not very easy in an English little village.
Even in London, we have the British Museum has a great collection of Chinese art. And I find now I can understand a lot of the landscape scrolls are much better, that it's not an illustration of an instant, or it's not like a kind of European landscape. It's about a kind of whole change over a period of time. And it's that experience, the person wouldn't just be out in that landscape painting it for 2 hours and say, well, this is a capture it at this time. It's about a longer, contemplative...
Organising food, organising sleeping, organising shelter. Where you go to the toilet is culture. My pictures are really to do with these very modest actions, all the little words that add up, all the little actions that add up to allowing the world to work.
What I wanted to do basically was, I just traveled through China, experience of meeting people, getting to know the various cultures, the various different ways of how in different regions people live, and through that I basically wanted to create images which is representative of each region.
It's always hard to do crazy ideas with materials that you don't usually work with. But this particular piece was like very many trips to the fabric market in the south of Beijing, always with the translator, and just to get things right is like, it's like pulling teeth sometimes. But you just got to be tenacious, and you get it. So I mean, here I am now sitting in a piece that was just like an idea one morning, and then a drawing the next, and now it's an actual manifestation of all of that.
A lot of my paintings, they contain a great deal of subtleties, of tone, colour, and all those qualities, and light. It's always been a feature of the paintings, and I found that in huge abundance in Neil Mountain. And I was staying very near the top of the mountain. There was a hotel quite near the top, actually, so I wasn't sort of roughing it. It was quite comfortable. But if you got up at dawn, sort of 5 o'clock at the dawn, you had the cloud, you had the mists coming up the valleys. You have cloud cover coming down, and it was changing, and what was visible and what was invisible was constantly changing. So it was almost like the mountains were floating in this space, in this very ambiguous space.
I feel that I've now found a new point in my work where, after a long, long period of doing what I've been doing, I now feel, from the influences I've been from being here, that I have got a new experience, a new platform to move on.
Yeah, I feel honored to be in the show. There's some great artists in the show. I think that we're all very, very different. It's I guess the only thing that holds it all together is this thread of Britishness.
I think it's fantastic, to have the work shown in China. I have shown it elsewhere before here, but to see it in China is slightly different because now it's being seen by people who actually live here.
I don't know whether I will ever understand Chinese, but the privilege of being invited was in a way to test what can happen, really how humans can construct a perfectly good relationship without spoken language.
I've got lots of sketches and I've got lots of ideas, and there is things that I would like to do specifically about the way I feel about China, and people will see that in upcoming shows from me.
The message China is giving me is strength, patience. It has arrived.
Through planting this small seed, we hope that something bigger will grow, like in England, and that the more understanding will grow.
The visual art's a kind of universal language.